Hi, my name is Paul Friedman. I'm the founder of the Marriage Foundation. If you've been watching these videos, if you're a subscriber, you already know that the way we approach things at the Marriage Foundation, very different, because we don't have psychology and all these strange ideas about blaming people and unraveling problems. It's very straightforward. It's very simple. And this topic is a very simple topic. It's what to do when your wife is always negative. And look, I know it can be a burden. People's behaviors, other than our own, right? If you're negative, it doesn't seem to bother you, does it? But when your wife is negative, oh my God, it's the end of the world. Why can't she be more positive? So here's the thing. You can only control yourself. You cannot control her. But when I talk about controlling yourself, I'm not just talking about whether you're going to behave in a negative way, whether you're going to be negative about things. I'm talking about how you see things too. How you see something is a free choice decision. And if what you do, let's look at it this way, okay? There are three planes of consciousness, you might say. One is the primal stage of consciousness, where we are basically tied to our bodies, which is an animal body. All the trillion cells are shouting out all the time, the drive to survive, survive, survive. Everything is a problem. That's the primal. People who live on that plane exclusively, by the way, they're psychotic. They belong in institutions because they're so tied to their bodies, you never know when they're going to be violent, and it's usually pretty often. Then there's the next level, which is sort of the mundane level. It's the level that most of us live on, and it's the level of where we incorporate our morality into our primal. There's one more level, because we're all a blend, and that level is the level of love. That level is who you actually are. You're a soul. You have a body, which creates primal instincts and all of that. You have a mind, which remembers what is moral and what isn't. But then you, the soul, it's a very high state of consciousness. It's a pure state of consciousness. And the truth of the matter is that the mind gets in the way of you feeling this. But when we get married in order to be happy, not negative. We get married in order to be happy. What we don't understand is that real happiness comes from within. The happiness that is caused, you might say, that other people influence, that's a fleeting kind of happiness. But the real happiness is that joy that is associated with pure love, right? So what happens is, because you have control over how you perceive, you're seeing your wife's negativity, and it's hitting you in the middle and in the lower, the primal and the mundane. And so you're being annoyed. Your mind is annoyed, but you are a soul. So if you saw her through the eyes of love, through the eyes of your soul, you wouldn't be impacted by her being quote unquote negative all the time. In fact, because you would love her, you married her to love her and to be happy with her, you raise your own consciousness when you perceive her being negative. And what happens when you're in that higher state of consciousness? You're not affected, but you are a fountain of love, and that will affect her. It may even induce her to become more positive. I'm not making any promises. But at least you're not being annoyed because you're living in this higher place. You know, it's sort of like a pendulum. Think of the pendulum as your consciousness. And down at the bottom, it's swinging back and forth between life's ups and downs. But the higher up you go, the less you feel the swings. And when you're in that highest state of love, you're not feeling the swings of consciousness. You don't have any mood swings. You don't have any reactions to things other than your love, you see? So what to do when your wife is always negative is you use that as a trigger to remind yourself, I'm the soul. I'm not affected by her negativity. I feel love. I feel joy. And love your wife. That was your promise. It wasn't your promise when you got married to analyze her. It wasn't your promise to her to correct her. It wasn't your promise to her to show her the way. It was your promise to her to love her. So you see, there's a lot more integrity in doing it like this than in any other way. I hope you like this concept and you will visit more. You should subscribe to the channel. You should like this video. You should like me. I like you. I'm joking. But I love what we do at the Marriage Foundation. It is so cool because instead of dealing with the problems and the issues that come one after another in life, let's face it, life is no picnic. And just because you get married doesn't mean life is going to go away. But you as an individual have so much power to enjoy your marriage, especially when you do it through the eyes of love. So we wrap all of our teachings around love and happiness. And by the way, if you are a subscriber, maybe even a therapist, we have many therapists who watch us, we're going to be putting on our website an introduction to the training of counselors. And we're going to be pre-selling a course. It's coming up pretty soon. So if you have an interest, let us know and we will contact you when we're ready. But I'm very excited about that because even though our courses that we have for men and for women in our books are really helpful, there are just times when people need to meet with somebody so they're guided in a very hands-on, personal way. And so we're going to be recruiting therapists and clergy and marriage coaches and the like, and maybe you have an interest in that. Again, I'm Paul Friedman. I'm the founder of the Marriage Foundation. Thank you for visiting. God bless you and take care.